Glorious Rise and Light Warriors, welcome back to the channel. I trust everyone is well. Today somebody needs to know that the Most High places his toughest warriors in the toughest places. The Most High places his toughest warriors in the toughest places. If you're in a place where you feel very different, and not just different, but a place where you feel is too different from what your ideal understanding of what life should be like. If you're in a place where nobody understands you, a place where everybody's against you, a place where it seems to be some kind of influence of negative energy that plagues it, a place where certain things are the norm in terms of like maybe things that go wrong or things that happen to people, a place where people live under shadows, a place where the land seems to be rooted with negative influence. You are needing to know that this is because you are as tough as these situations. You are as mighty as any other energy that can defeat these situations. And I'm not saying it's like you've been put there to try and change things, or it is your energy that does the work. This is not to say that you have been put in the place to try and make some kind of physical change, because a lot of the times in these spaces, the energies that we carry into these spaces is just meant to be felt. It's meant to be experienced in a way where it is not done by force, except for sometimes when you might be called to put a word out. But I'm still maintaining that phrase in the last, and not by force. Not by force. Because your existence alone and your presence in that space does something within the atmosphere. When you enter the place, when you settle in a place, you walk with a lot of different energies. And a lot of these different energies are also connected to your purpose, which is a higher purpose. So I'm talking celestial bodies and support from the angelic realms, support from higher states, different dimensions. So when you enter these places, or when you settle in these places, it is like you settle with your whole entourage. And so the whole is like the whole spiritual order of spiritual foundation of that space becomes part of the various things that you are going to be connected to because of who you are and because of the various energies that you walk with. So it's like just you being there alone does something in the space. And it's saying, this is the reason why I'm saying the Most High sent his toughest warriors to the toughest places. So for some of you, you could have been in situations where you'd say like maybe from frying pan to fire, where maybe you were in a space where things were not so good, but you end up somewhere else and it's like, oh, it's worse than the other place. Or you end up somewhere else and it's like, oh, here there's some kind of issues also. And you might be wondering why you end up in places like this, or like why you always end up where there seems to be some kind of friction with your energy. And this is because when you enter the space, it's like you are the invitation. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. You are the invitation for your spiritual entourage to enter the place. So it's like you are the literally, like it's like you are a delivery that is made into the space with like your entourage, but it's like you have to be there for them to be able to be in this space also, or in this place, or for them to also settle in this community. You understand? So it's like it's saying, because they go with you where you are. They go with you where you are. So it's as if like the Most High is saying, for certain places to be able to experience the energies that you walk with, or to experience whether the protection, the healing, the deliverance of some of the energies that you walk with, or some of the spiritual bodies, like the ones that you walk with, somebody like you who is guarded by those energies would have to be placed in that space. And that is going to be the invitation. It's like just by you being in that space, it is going to warrant that your spirit team or your spirit guides also are in that space. So I feel like this is trying to tell somebody, like, if you are in a space where you feel like, oh, you know, it's too difficult because they don't understand you, or it's just not with your energy, there's a need for you to understand. And this is not, again, let me repeat, this is not to say that you are meant to be there to try and make some change, so don't leave. No, you need to use your discernment. There's a time for everything, and everything has its timing. Sometimes you are sent into places just for a day. Sometimes you are sent into places for weeks, for months, for years. You have to use your discernment to know when it's time for you to leave, when it's time for you to remain rooted and grounded, because you are a way in which the divine seat energy in these spaces. So again, it's like you are the invitation. As long as you are in these spaces, there's always going to be the assurity that those energies that walk with you will be present in these spaces. So it's like by you going there, that is like an invitation. So it's like it's almost like you're sent in like as like what you call it, undercover agent. It's like you're sent in like an undercover agent, but it's like it's like even with you don't know that you're an undercover agent. It's like you don't know you're an undercover agent when you are like sent into the space. You just think like, oh my God, I've ended up in this place and it's like this, or this is not really where I wanted to be, or, and in most cases, it may have been like, not your ideal, like maybe not even your idea, maybe like a space you just ended up in because you had no choice or you had nowhere else to go. But what you don't know or what you don't realize is that there's a reason why you have been put in that space, or the reason why you have been placed there or forced to move there or forced to be there. That's because your energy is needed there in that time. Maybe not specifically your energy, but a type of energy that you hold as a light warrior, as a light worker. So in the case where you end up in a place where there's a lot of psychic attacks and a lot of like negative spiritual energies, when you end up in that space, a lot of those energies will begin to diminish, will begin to vanish. In the beginning, they're going to show themselves. They're going to begin to like maybe try and like show themselves, like, try and figure out who you are, or try and maybe back you into a corner, or think they can maybe even like bully you into becoming submissive to them. And so sometimes they'll show themselves. That is when people start to maybe act funny with you in a community where, you start to notice or identify people that don't seem to like you for any reason. Yeah, that is when they're showing themselves. And then from then on, it's like now the eye that they're looking at you with warrants for your entourage to look back at them, because already it's like already they're known. When you enter a place, your spirit team already starts to survey the place. When, as a matter of fact, they survey the place even before you go there, because they know beforehand where you are going. They know beforehand when you are trying to do something, or when you're planning on going somewhere, or when you will end up in a place. So already they survey the place, because again, there is a plan and purpose to everything that unfolds. And this is how our spirit team are able to divert and use certain things that were even meant to be mistakes to bless us or support us. So it's like already they go and survey this place. So it's like now when you enter the space, and when these different eyes or people or energies that are rooted in the place that are not right begin to look at you the wrong way, or start to draw their attention to you, begin to draw their attention, then your spirit team starts to look back at them also. And so it's like you could be in a space where you're not doing anything. You're literally just waking up every morning and doing what you need to do, and just going back to sleep, going where you need to go, and not maybe even speaking to anybody. But what you might not realize is like there's an active like battle of energies of like whether darkness and light, or positive and negative energies that are literally like battling in that space, because you are in that space. So it's like, again, the Most High put his toughest warriors in the toughest places. And that's why in a lot of these cases, it's not even about being physical or like trying to change something by force. No, it is the energy that you have. Your spirit is a tough spirit. Your spirit is a tough spirit. It's like even when you are unaware, when you are unaware of like the things that you're doing or what your energy is provoking, you are still doing so much, like it's still causing so much change, like profound change. And so for whoever I'm speaking to, if you came into the awareness recently that you're a light warrior, you may have already done certain things that confirm to you that you had some kind of like supernatural presence within you, or that you have some kind of like spiritual abilities. 10:28 on the timer, that's 10:10. So I feel like there's somebody that is needing to know, for whoever this message is for. Again, use your discernment. But for whoever this message is for, it's like there's a need for you to understand that just the awareness of the fact that you being there alone is confirmation that you are tough enough to be in that space. Is going to literally like allow you to remain calm in your energy. So I don't know if for somebody you're facing like issues with people, or if you faced issues with people in the past, like maybe in a community, in a workspace, whatever it is. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Some of these things may have been happening in the physical as just like argument or altercations and stuff like that. But it was as a result of something much bigger that was happening in the spirit. And so for some of you, it happens even in a way where it's like you end up, maybe you got fired from a job space or something, you end up like, leaving a community because you don't feel right in the community. And you don't even realize that at that point where you left, your mission had been completed. It's like your mission had been completed. So the Most High was like, yeah, now we can move you out of this space. You may have been looking at it like, oh my goodness, now I have to move from here to another place. Oh, the vibe is not right. Now I have to move. Oh, I have to move again. You just may have been looking at it like, and again, that's what I was saying. It's like you yourself, it's like the divine is like pushing you out. It's like you're like an undercover agent. And this is why it's so important to know ourselves and know who we are. So sometimes it's like when we're going through certain things, like you can understand that, oh yeah, this is because of who I am. Some of these things happen because of who I am innately. Like before, certain things would happen, 1, 2, 2, 2 on the timer. Before, certain situations would come up with people, and then I'll be like, oh, why are they being this? And start to think so much about it. But when I awakened to myself, and I started to realize who I was and began to realize my spiritual gift and my mission and my purpose, everything began to make sense. Everything began to make sense. And then I started to think back at some of the places that I had been and some of the places that I had ended up, not specifically because I wanted to be there, but because I had no choice, and how things unfolded and how it led me to different places. And it all made sense. It all made sense. So for whoever I'm speaking to, if you're beginning to feel beat down by spaces that you've been in, or having to deal with or be in spaces that you think do not align with you because of the energy of the place, or like maybe the people and stuff like that, there's a need for you to know that you are there for a reason. And right now you need to know that you are exactly where you need to be if you know what the timing is, which means that when the time comes for you to leave that space, you are aware that the time has come for you to leave that space and not overstay the timing of your mission. And for a lot, it will come as a situation that is calling you to let something go, even though you've been putting work into it. And you might be looking at it like, oh, maybe I've been here for a while and I've been doing this work and I've been putting in the work. And, I thought I was making progress. Why am I having to leave now? And the Most High is saying, because your mission is done. Because the mission is done. And if you're in a space where you're feeling like it's too tough, and then it's just so much friction, and maybe you should just be in a place where it's all easy and cozy, and just know that you are there because your energy is needed. It feels tough because you are tough. You are in the space that you're in because you are the frequency or the energy that invites the energetic bodies that is needed in that space to make change. And even though you might not see it in the physical, it is happening in the spiritual. And so when the time is up, the Most High is going to bring up the opportunity or the chaos to allow for you to move on to the next place. And so it's like you see the energy wherever you go, whether you're doing something or not, because you invite your angelic team into the space.